Alrighty. Hey there peeps, how's it going? My name's Lisa, Kiwi Lisa. Are you new around here? If you are and you have started watching this video, why don't you subscribe to my channel? In this vlog, I am going to give you a little bit of a rundown on my 10-day Japan Discovery Tour with Tripperdeal. That's right, this is my last night. I am in Yokohama, just finished up our 10 days, well not quite because we will fly back to Australia tomorrow, but wow, what a trip, Tripperdeal. I booked this way back in February. I had never heard of Tripperdeal before. Everything has gone to plan. The itinerary came out when they said. The itinerary is exactly what I purchased. Flights, spot on. So let me give you a little bit of a rundown. The 10-day discovery tour with Tripperdeal. The deal was way too good to be true, right? Because it includes flights. Yep, most of their tours, if not probably all of their tours, includes return flights. I will leave you a link here to Tripperdeal. You can go and check out all of their deals. They offer so much variety, so go and check them out. I will link also the tour that I did. Very good value. So how it started. Flights. We flew in to Manila first, Manila to Tokyo. I flew in from Brisbane, and it looks like they coordinate all the different states, Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney, to arrive in Manila, so everyone arrives to Tokyo at the same time. Our flight got in late, but when we arrived at midnight, our tour leader, his name was Ui, he was there. We have had 33 people on this tour from all the 3 different states. Pickup went smooth as custard. We got transported around in a big bus. Plenty of room, aircon, no Wi-Fi, just aircon, plenty of room for everyone. You swap around the seats. The first day, a free day, they offer you a tour. You can join in the tour, that's extra. Free day in Tokyo. I actually did my own little thing. I will link the vlog here. I got lost in Tokyo. Look, you probably won't get lost, but I did. I had a very fun adventure. Ended up at Shibuya Crossing, went to a shrine. I wandered around, got lost. Wi-Fi is pretty prominent around Tokyo. Navman, the maps, yeah, did not work. But I had an adventure. It was fun. Go check out that video, peeps. Day 2. I have got a little bit of a guide here because I just want to make sure I cover everything. We went out to Mount Fuji. Wow, long day on the bus. Mount Fuji. I know you get about an hour and a half there. Go check it out. There's time to wander around. There's a shrine there. It's a long day. Pretty spectacular. Enjoyed that quite a lot. We went to this, it was called Lake Kawakuchika. Go on this boat. It's only 20 minutes. And then you actually go out and then you can see Mount Fuji. Oh, that was pretty good. That's included in the tour. You didn't have to pay extra for that. And then the next day we did a wasabi farm. You could buy wasabi ice cream if you want. We had a beautiful drive. I actually don't know where we drove, but coming in October, because that's when I'm here, the autumn leaves are absolutely beautiful. The colours, gold and reds and greens and all sorts. Like, we have not had one single bit of rain. We have had perfect weather. It's been extremely hot at this time of the year. I don't know if that is normal, but it was absolutely beautiful. not a sprinkle of rain, or maybe a little sprinkle of rain, but that was on the free day. That was in Tokyo. Then we did Old Town Takayama. Yeah, that's Old Town Japan. That's kind of what I think of Japan. Kind of like maybe from the movies, you see these old Japanese buildings. Yeah, that's worth checking out. If you wander yourself down the road, you might go down to, there's a little wee stream. You might see the big koi fish. Get some souvenirs, buy yourself some food. Lots and lots and lots of different types of Japanese food. Then we went to Shirakawa. It's this beautiful village. It's kind of like, it's almost like a Switzerland European vibe. I've never been to those two countries, but I've seen pictures, and that's kind of what it reminded me of, or what it kind of had that vibe. That day was just a spectacular day. The next day we drove to Kyoto. We had an afternoon free, and how that works is the bus drives to Kyoto. If you don't want to do an optional tour, you get to spend about 5 or 6 hours exploring Kyoto yourself. The bus will then come and pick you up later. If you decide to do the tour, which is optional, you pay 5,500 yen. This is an optional free tour. We went to Fushimi Inari Shrine. You know, that famous one with those red what are those called? Torii gates. Yeah, you know that one, the one that's hardcore busy. It is crazy busy, that place. You go up the Torii gates that way, you hang a left, you come back down the Torii gates that way. Busy, crazy busy. Tourists come here, there and everywhere. Crazy. We went there about 11:30. Crazy. I've heard that if you go right to the top, take you a couple of hours. Obviously tour timetables don't allow us to obviously do that, but yeah, tick, Torii gates. That was the Fushimi Inari Shrine. Tick, done. Then we went to Arashiyama. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. The bamboo garden. Yeah, that was alright. Just some bamboo. Nothing exciting, but yeah, tick, done. On that particular day, there were so many Japanese young girls out in their full kimonos. I think that actually is the town where, if you wanted to rent one for the day, lots of tourists in their kimonos walking around. So yeah, lots of shops, lots of shopping, lots of food, very touristy, very busy, but yeah, really enjoyed that one. And then where did we go after that? Oh, and then we went to the Golden Pavillion. Yeah, we got there at perfect timing. Wow, yeah, tick to that one. It was around about 4 or 5, just before 5 o'clock, and the Golden Pavillion was more golden at that time of the afternoon. So that was a tick. That was absolutely spectacular. So for 5,500 yen, that was a pretty good tour. So I would highly recommend, if you're doing the optional tours, you add that one. 55 Australian dollars. That ain't much. The next day was another free day. So that was a free day in, if you wanted to. This was, by this stage, we'd actually got to Osaka. So it was a free day in Osaka. If you wanted to do your own thing, you could. There is another optional tour that they offer, and it's a day trip to Hiroshima, where you take the bullet train, and it's a full day, because obviously Hiroshima from Osaka is probably about 350 kilometers. So there in a day, a bus would be a killer. So that one is 50,000 yen. So that's probably a little over 500 Australian dollars. So it's quite an expensive day, but yeah, I thought that was pretty good. It was a little bit rushed, but that's because you've got to squeeze everything in the day. It started early. We started at 7:30 in the morning. That bullet train can get up to 350 kilometers an hour, so it got us there in a jiffy. The first stop was the museum. oh my God, that is an eye-opener. It was pretty horrific, very saddening, and we only got an hour there. An hour is definitely not long enough. You could spend a half a day, if not longer, there. The imagery is quite confronting. There's lots of little wee plaques with just words and people's stories. There's stuff that's been donated. There's the graphic that is very confronting. But you know, those moments in time in history are always things to understand, to get a better understanding of what happened. That's the concept of war is just crazy, and to be thankful that we live in Australia is an understatement. Okay, so there was a section in the museum of this little wee 12-year-old girl. Her name was Sadako Sasaki. I read her story. She was a nuclear bomb victim. She was 2 at the time, and then she died because she got leukemia at the age of 12. She was hopeful of obviously getting through that. She had read that if she made 1,000 origami cranes, that would give her health. But that wasn't the case. She became a global, recognized globally as a peacemaker, and the Japanese children grew up with her story, and she's a little bit of a legend or icon to all the Japanese children. There's a shrine at the gardens, or a memorial garden, acknowledging her. So that was something I'd read. It's a big long display. Look, an hour wasn't long enough. We ran out of time and I had to skip half the museum. We had a little bit of a wander around the gardens. We went to the spot where the bomb went off, but definitely you need a lot longer. You could spend a half day or longer at that museum, but obviously we didn't have the luxury of time being on a tour timetable. Then after that we went to some island, Miyajima Island. Yeah, well, you could spend a whole day there. You take a little boat. It takes about 15 minutes to get across in the ferry or the boat, and we had 2 hours. 2 hours definitely wasn't long enough. Like I said, you could spend a whole day at the island. There's some torii gates. We were lucky that when we got there, the tide was out. We got down, we went to touch it. There's a shrine there. Wow, street full of food, different types of food. Yeah, I tried something different. I didn't like it. I tried some matcha ice cream. I tried this stick thing that was squid with bacon and cheese. I actually thought it was potato. I didn't like it. I've got to watch out for the rogue deers. They will chase you for your food. If you try and buck you, try and chase you, watch out, they're a little bit vicious. The bullet train, we ended up getting the bullet train back. It was a long day. 7:30 in the morning, we got back about 8 o'clock at night. It was a long day, but a good one. Look, would I do the tour? Yeah, because if you're on a limited time, you're going to do a tour. It was quite expensive though, $500. As usual, tour timetables, you don't get much time at places. An hour at the museum, a couple of hours at that Miyajima Island, and most of it's either on the bullet train or the bus. So you can decide whether or not. I did it because I'm always about doing something if I get an opportunity. The next day we went to the Osaka castle. I think we were there for about an hour. You don't have time to go in because tour timetables, you don't get to go in, but that's included in the tour. The going to the castle, we checked out the castle from the outside, and then we went to Shinsaibashi. Hope I pronounced that right. Wow, visual overload. It's like, oh my god, that is truly like what I was expecting when I was going to come to Japan. Is like the shops down the street, there's like big things on the buildings like crabs and sushi and big cows, all sorts. you know what you're going to buy when you go to that shop, because there's a big thing up on the roof. That was overload, totally overload. I ended up going to Starbucks. Get yourself a coffee, take yourself upstairs. It's like this little wee library thing there, and you can people watch people at the main crossing at the Shinsaibashi. It's not a crossing, but it's Shinsaibashi. You can overlook and watch people. Have yourself a coffee, $4.90 for a coffee. Sit there, chill out. Then you can go and do some shopping. Tight timetable, 2 hours there, but definitely worth checking out. Oh, I don't know where the street is, but there's a street and it had this 3D thing coming out of the wall. Yeah, yes, the things you stumble across when you're wandering around Osaka. Yeah, Shinsaibashi. Oh, I tell you a hot tip also is at the Shibuya Crossing, get yourself up to Starbucks. You get the best view there. You can people watch. You can watch people doing crazy things. I mean, I was intending to go up to that sky view at the crossing, but for $4.90, better value. I got front row. It wasn't really much today. We went to the tea, where they do tea, the tea's tasting, checked out how they did the tea. Then we went to some Buddha, and then we came here. So I want to just summarize. Flight was good. We had a tight timetable in the connecting flights, but everything did go smoothly. We got here safely. Tour pickup, the tour guide, he was there as expected. His name was Oi. Totally awesome tour guide. He is an older man. He has a wealth of knowledge. You get to his story. He's obviously an older man. He has so much knowledge, so much history about Japan. Yeah, he was totally 10 out of 10. He was funny and cheeky, and he kept us on track with timetables. You know, it's probably hard to coordinate so many people on a tour. You know, he told us when we got to get here, what time we got to be back. So, you know, he came around with us, and it was always about follow the blue flag. Follow the blue flag. Let's go, he'd say. And if you wanted to do your own thing, as long as you were back at the bus, you know, I don't think that anyone ever missed any of his timetables. So yeah, 10 out of 10 out guide Oi. Just an FYI, there is a recommended notice in the tour notes that you should do tipping. So expect that potentially you will be needing to tip if that's your vibe. I mean, I would say definitely, you know, be polite. It's a tour that was very reasonably priced. The accommodation, I was highly impressed with the accommodation. You know, some was a little bit not so nice. The first one in Tokyo was nice. This one is not too bad. This is in Yokohama. This one is pretty alright. I'm impressed with this. The one that I wasn't really impressed with was the one at Route Inn. It was almost like when we were in the bath, it was almost like we were getting inside a you know, a portaloo. But anyway, you know, the accommodation is quite reasonable. The tour itself was reasonably priced. Return airfares, 10 days accommodation, all your transport to get up to all these places, you know, tickets to get into most of these places, and the 3 optional tours available. You can choose to take those or not. Obviously I did 2 of them. So the accommodation, the transport, the pickup, our tour leader, everything was pretty spot on. Would I recommend doing this tour? Absolutely. The price is really, really good. You know, I think like I have to pay a single supplement. And sometimes, depending on where you live, you might have to pay an extra fee. I'm from Brisbane and there was an extra fee for that. But I think I saved $200. I think I paid $3,500, $3,600 because I had a single supplement and like an extra fee because I'm from Brisbane. But $3,600 for a 10-day including flights tour is pretty good to Japan. We travelled so many kilometres. Look, the amount of cash that I bought, like I only bought, you know, $500 spending money that I paid for one of those tours with the cash. I bought some presents, I ate, not all meals are included, only breakfast. Just breakfasts are included as part of the package. And what else can I talk about? That's about it. Trip a deal, the Japan Discovery Tour, highly recommend it. This is my personal opinions. You know, everyone has different preferences about what they like, what they don't like. You know, I always love to spend more time at all these places. I will say, expect long days on the buses. You know, we have travelled thousands of kilometres. The best day for sightseeing was the Mount Fuji day, where we were going through that beautiful road. So many tunnels, so much beautiful scenery. October is the perfect time to come. I got shotgun front of the bus for that day. Every other day you kind of rotated around the bus. I sat at the back of the bus in the naughty corner. A couple of the days, the last 2 days are the longest travel days, because we were in the bus for at least 2 hours with no stops. We watched a couple of movies on those days, because those days were long, and they were today and yesterday. They're the longest days. So I'm going to rate this trip a deal pretty high. I'm not going to rate it 1 to 10. It's pretty good. Go and check it out. I'll link it to let you know which one. It is very well organised. Nothing went wrong. Everything went to plan. Our tour guide was a-okay. On a side note, I'm just going to give you a couple of extra things, because these are the things that I thought I needed to work out before I came. Power outlets. Australia only sells these ones. This one is the the Japan plug. It's just the 2-prong. And on this side, Australia only does the 2-prong. 2 to 2. This works in Japan, but this side here does not work for a laptop. So if you take this, you're not going to be able to charge your laptop. It's good for obviously plugging in a adapter for your phone charger, but these you can just get at Woolworths, Big W, Kmart, Coles, friggin' anywhere. You can get these anywhere. And for Australian standards, they don't sell 2 to 3 prong. So you won't find a 3 top in Australia. So I had to go to Amazon. I was a little bit skeptical about going to Amazon, but I got this universal charger, and it actually was only about $26 from Amazon. It delivered within 3 days, and how it works is it's obviously got so you actually use the US one there. US, it's got universal, so it's going to plug our laptop in here. So go to Amazon, because I was searching high and low for this adapter with a 3-prong. You're not going to get it in Australia, so don't even think about looking. Just go straight to Amazon, because this one actually worked. Another thing, SIM cards. I got a SIM card from Sims Direct, a 10 gigabyte SIM card before I left Australia. I've used them before. I've been using my internet the whole time I've been here. I've been Snapchatting, I've been on Instagram, you know, I've been Googling things. I was on my maps and stuff. Okay, I have not even run out of internet. So people who have come and not had a connection and just used their Australian phone carrier, they have not been able to get any sort of Wi-Fi, or have not been able to connect to internet. So yes, this worked for me 100%, and I have not run out of internet. And another thing, coffee over here is crap. It's crap. I mean, I've been hanging out for Starbucks. If I found a Starbucks, I've been going to Starbucks. But I have also been bringing these, my cappuccinos, Nescafe cappuccinos. They're good with a little bit of hot water. Go down a treat when the coffee in another country. Food in Japan. Oh, if you're anything like me, I'm a little bit weird with food. I don't really like eating weird food. I tried some of the food here. But you know, and that's not me being disrespectful, it's just I'm just a fussy eat. I'm like a Kiwi that doesn't even eat lamb, so I'm fussy. But you know, I didn't starve. You just eat more at breakfast, and all their breakfasts are weird too. Not saying weird, not being disrespectful, but you know, there's different things that Japanese have in their breakfasts, and their menu is all about hot foods and rices and fish and all sorts. Things that we wouldn't normally, like, you know, we didn't really see fruit much, cereals much, and the coffee was crap. Sorry, but it was. So I bought my Nescafe cappuccinos. So that's me summarising. I've probably blabbed on for way too long, and you're already probably bored. But if you aren't bored and you have found this useful, why don't you subscribe to my channel? This is just me summarising my Tripadeal 10-day discovery Japan here for you fine folk. Subscribe, comment below, all the usual stuff, because I would love for you to hang around. I've got that full Japan series coming up. I did say earlier, I think in the video, in this vlog, that I would be link you to this Kiwi got lost in Tokyo, I think. Well, this is going to be my first vlog, so that won't be happening. But yeah, subscribe right now, because I have a full Japan series coming up. I make a huge effort to get these vlog up. Well, you know, I just love making them, you know, I just love doing it, because I just do it. And if you guys tag along, subscribe to my channel, comment, you know, share it, whatever, I think it helps some algorithm. I don't know, because as you probably know, I don't really have many followers, but I'd like more. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment below, and I will spot you in the next vlog, peeps. Booyah.